Hey guys, how's it going? So this is one of my current projects. The intended design is a scriptless automated combat drone. And the reason for such a unique build is I currently am hosting a public server and I have two planets. I have a Waterworld planet and I have a Mad Max planet. Now the Mad Max planet is supposed to be a rover only environment, and the water world is just like it sounds, covered by 90% water. So I do not have thrusters enabled. Thrusters are disabled server wide. So I was working on a sensor script or a sensor mod, and the idea is to allow players to create their own radar script or radars and that kind of thing. And while I was creating that, I had a player come up to me and he was like, hey, I would like to be able to use, like thrusters for boosters and ICBMs and stuff. So I immediately got to working on this mod, and this is a hydrogen thruster mod that adds new variants of hydrogen thrusters into the game. That are very expensive to use. They consume a tremendous amount of hydrogen, and the intended idea, is to disable like limitless flight. So using atmospheric thrusters, you can achieve limitless flight with just having power. These allow for a very temporary flight. So for ICBMs, SLBMs, that kind of thing. Small drones, it's almost impossible to take any cargo or, anything over a great distance. It's just not economical, and it's pretty much impossible. Any weight that's not just, structure and important components, there's no way you can carry those. It just consumes too much fuel. Even the idling fuel is increased. But anyway, so the intended purpose is to be able to use all of this on the server on its final variant. Now, these thrusters are obviously just temporary. This is for testing reasons only, because I don't want to use, a bunch of hydrogen tanks and all that for testing. But eventually we'll have to have all that. So now to go back into the drone and to kind of explain the systems, I tried to keep it simple, but it ended up getting kind of complicated, and that's just the way it is, because there's no brain doing all the calculations. This is all via timer blocks and sensors, and obviously gyroscopes. So you notice here there is a programmable block. This is just running a community script. It's an auto leveling script. It pretty much just helps with the legwork on keeping the drone upright and orientated to the horizon. But yeah, it's nothing to do with the actual, the drone flight or any of that, the AI. So anyways, the drone AI system starts with a threat detection sensor. This detects whenever there is an enemy grid nearby, at X amount of distance. It pretty much starts everything. It'll trigger the first timer block, which starts the what I call the guidance AI, which this just uses an old trick where, if I'm on this side of this sensor here, this will activate and it'll try to pull the center towards me by offsetting a gyroscope, goes into the override, tries to turn it towards you. Same thing goes for the other side, this sensor will activate, which will activate the corresponding gyroscope, which will pull it towards me, this side, and then same thing goes for the up and the down. And then there's also a height sensor here, which keeps the drone, X amount of distance above the ground, whatever I set that to. And then obviously when the threat detection sensor detects something, it turns on the forward thrusters, just a thrust override, and then these inertia dampeners turn off, and then the final stage is when the object is detected at a certain range. It triggers pretty much the stopping sensor, which turns on the dampeners, turns off the forward thrust, and the drone just kind of sits there and shoots at the target. It's still pointing at it while shooting this Gatling gun, and and obviously the missile launchers back there. And obviously all of this is temporary. That's not part of the main system, or the, you know, the, I guess you say permanent system. The only real thing here that I'm paying any attention to at all is the brain, just the inner workings here. But yeah, I guess that's enough of rambling. I'll kind of show you how it works. That's its docking station too. I was kind of trying to show you here that I just spawned one in, and then hopefully what happens is the drone will activate, and then it'll hunt me down, it'll kill me, and then it'll come back and it'll dock. And it can immediately undock itself and, you know, hunt something else down if it came within range. But yeah, just gonna pulse everything. Alright, so I'm going to simulate like this is a real situation. I'm pretty much just going to spawn in a little rover, and I'm going to drive towards the drone like it was my base. It's protecting my base. And you could have it on a patrol, like, it doesn't matter how you initiate it. In theory, you could have them orbiting an aircraft carrier or something like that even. You know, it doesn't really matter. Sky's the limit. Alright, so I spawn this in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drive towards it. There it is, it's coming at me already. I'm going to try to drive it away. See if I can dodge some of these rockets for a while. Try to show you guys its functionality. Oh. Oh. I might not have enabled the auto-leveling script. Alright, I'm going to stop here. Let it kill me. Yeah, I'll make sure the auto-leveling script is enabled. Yeah, it's not. That's okay. So the reason why it jerked there is there's really only one way that I can send it home, and that's just a hard reset. So why it jerked, it does that every 60 seconds. And I can change that timer, that doesn't matter. But that's enabling the autopilot. But yeah, it just immediately overrides it. Goes back to the target. It's pretty much just a tiny little blip. And like I said, there's nothing I can really do about it. But right now it's trying to shoot something. There must be something under the ground there. But yeah, anyways, I will help it out, and I'll delete the stuff. Yeah, there's shit under the ground. Oh well. Is this above the ground? Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see what it would be doing. Turn off the lever here. So, it doesn't have to completely erase everything. Like I said, this is just a proof of concept. But here, I'll help it out. Just destroy all this. That should be it. Yep. So, like I said, it is a 60-second timer, so it is going to sit here and waste a little bit of ammo, but this can all be refined, too. This is just very, very crude still. Just a proof of concept. So, yep, just about to go back. So there we go. Kill its target. And now she's going to fly home. Hopefully dock up. Okay. And then the process will just restart. Here we go. And beep. Alright. Beautiful. Nice and locked in. And yeah, so that pretty much just about concludes this design. You know, like I said, this is very crude. It's literally like 15 minutes old. I'd imagine there's been people in the community that have created stuff similar, but I figured I would show you guys my variant. I haven't seen anything of people doing something like this, but I would imagine that it's been done. There's only, you know, so much you can do with Space Engineers mechanics. But, yeah, so I'll kind of just, again, show you here, before I leave, that this thing will indeed hunt me down. Again. And there it goes. It's hunting me down. It's accelerating. But yeah. Alright guys, well thank you for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, or you want to see me go in an in-depth build video on the drone here, let me know. Alright, have a good one.